going on? Let's see if anybody comes in. Sorry about the confusion. I don't know what's going on. See if anybody gets here. Oh, wow. Okay, why is Jillian's here?
Hi.
Can you hear me, Jillian?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, why can I hear though? Why are we, this is not a webinar. This is really odd. This is so funny.
I can even turn my video on.
I know. This is so odd to me. Like it's a Google Hangout, which is really amazing. However, that's not what we're doing. It's so crazy town. I even like recreated it. I was like, let me just redo it all. And I did. That is so weird. What of? This is what we're going to do today. Cool. Okay, let's see if anyone else gets in this little deal and we'll just all be chatting it up. Okay, so you guys can turn your cameras off and of course everyone will mute themselves. Hi, we're doing things a little different today. Right?
Super exciting.
You just see my screen?
Yeah, with leaves.
Yeah, with leaves. Yeah, you're good. Okay, cool. So I don't know what's happening, but this is what we're going to do today because this is how we're going to do this webinar. Sound good? And hopefully it records, and if not, I'll be doing it again. So I have no idea why this is a video call or why I see all of your faces, but it's amazing because I love seeing you all. So yeah, so here we are, and you can still, do you guys see a chat box to your right? Anyone? I see one, but does anyone else?
Not yet.
Okay.
Just a black bar.
Do you see like a control panel over to the left, like with like a green arrow and like a yellow tag and all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you click that first thing, it looks like it's like a blue box with like white lines on it. If you click that, you should be able to see a group chat.
Oh,
okay, cool.
yeah,
you guys see it? Okay. So that's where you guys can write your questions. I'm gonna ask you all to mute yourselves and you can turn your cameras off if you want, because it's just gonna be slides. So if you have questions, whatever, just type in that box and then we'll go from there, okay? Let's see, everyone muted? Okay, cool. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. I think Melanie's still, if someone can check on Melanie in the Facebook group, that'd be amazing. It looks like she might still be confused. Because I think she's trying to get in. Cool, okay, thank you. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start let's chat about what we're gonna do today. Okay, so we are gonna talk about, of course, where we've been, because we always do that, and then where we are now, what's ahead. We're gonna talk a lot about product development, like kind of an intro, like a one-on-one version of that. And then we're gonna do more of like a high-level check-in, mainly because where we've been, you know, we have the website, we have our email marketing, we starting to kind of find our voice. We've talked a lot about copy. We have freebies. We have all of this stuff. And so now it's kind of time to think about products, services. Where are we going with that? What does that feel like to us? What do we need to have in place? And this is all stuff, again, that we're going to do at the retreat. So we're going to be leaving with like a 90-day plan, those people who are coming, but we are going to still talk about it in Business Beyond. Maybe you'll still have all the slides, whatever. They're just going to get like an accelerated version. So I wanted to go over kind of like an intro of what that all looks like for us right now and where we are in the business. All right. So super quick in the chat box, I just want you to, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being lowest, 10 being the highest, how are you treating your business? So 1 would be like, I don't really think about my business. 10 would be like all in, maybe I should stop working so much. 5 would be like, it's kind of a part-time gig. So give me just a number. Connie, no way. You work on your business a lot. Connie thinks about her business. I think she means 10. There you go. Okay, good. Whew. I was like sweating over here. Like, Connie, no, you write way too much to be a 1. You write way too much. Okay, cool. So that's what I like to see. 8 and higher, I would like to see. Obviously, if you're about to have a baby, probably not first thing on your list, which is amazing. That's fine. That's life, right? And just know that this is going to ebb and flow, right? So sometimes we're going to be like right now, I'm probably a 10 in my business, and you ask me in July, and I'll probably be more like a 4. Not that I'm not always treating my business, but as far as the amount I'm working towards my business, you know, it's going to ebb and flow. And that's why launches and reset times are so, so important. And that's why planning the whole year out, which is something we do in alumni. So like the end of this year, the girls who continue with alumni, I will ask for an entire year plan from you. Like, what exactly are you doing in whatever months? What does content look like? When are we launching? When are we resetting? What does the anticipation look like? We really, really map it out, because there's no way that you can try to just roll with life, because we're all moms, right? And so the kids are always going to get sick. We're going to take vacations, blah, blah, blah. So there's really no way to kind of just roll with it and like, I'll just throw this shit over here and let me see if this is going to work, because that just doesn't work. I did it for 2 years and I ended up spinning my wheels way more and spending more energy than I cared to spend, trying to figure out and trying to like stay afloat. So where we've been, of course, this is just a review, the foundation. We've talked about consistency with blogs, videos, social media, emails. We talked about building our tribe a lot. So that's something that we're really focusing on now, is like really looking at who we're bringing in. Who are the people that are coming to our content? Who are the people who are like, hell yeah, I love this girl. I resonate with her. Kind of like, where have you been my whole life? Getting those people to know, like you, and trust you, because it doesn't matter, right, how good your program is, how amazing your product is. It really matters that they know, like, and trust you, right? So there's people who are going to buy Running Beyond Baby who probably will never own a pair of running shoes. Why? Because they just like me, right? They just like my stuff. They're just going to buy it, right? And that's kind of where you want to be. So we talked about giving, like giving it all away, right? Steering the conversation to topics and insights that your people care about and that you care about, right? So it's kind of like hitting them over the head, you know, like if body image is like one of your things, then it's like you keep talking about it, you keep hitting them over the head, because 1 time, 5 times like isn't enough, right? We have to keep telling them about certain topics and conversations, because sometimes if it's a big issue, like let's say body image, like sometimes people aren't really sure where they stand with that stuff yet, right? Like if it's a big thing, like moderation, right? Like a lot of people aren't really sure, like, should I be for moderation? Should I be against it? I'm not really sure. And they like need to hear a lot about why they should be for it or against it, or wherever you are, right? And of course, getting eyes on our stuff. So huge, right? Lots of stuff that we've done in the past 4 months, and we have a lot more to go. So what are we going to work on now? We're talking about consistent content, of course, blogs, social media, emails, all that stuff. Freemium is ready, created, launched. And again, like the freemium is not like, I don't want all the eggs in that basket, right? Because we know what social media is like. So the goal is to get a couple of people on your email list, and then we're going to build some sort of anticipation into your paid product. Can you guys make sure you're all muted? nothing to mute. Thanks, girl. So that we can continue to get emails on your list, and then of course nurture them, right? So the freemium is important. Yes, you guys spend a lot of time in it, whatever. It does need to be good, but again, it's on the side of your website. It's not going to be like the end all be all. It is important, but again, we're not going to put all the eggs in the basket. CTAs every 7 to 14 days. So once you go through the launch, quote unquote launch of the freemium, we're still asking people every week to 2 weeks to sign up for that. In a way, not just like, hey, sign up for my free whatever, but remember bringing content back to that and kind of tying it to that struggle. 80% of the efforts on foundational pieces, and then of course we're brainstorming the product and service, kind of where we're going, okay? So a few things to think about when we talk about what's product, service, solutions. Your expertise, your ability to communicate in a usable, sticky way, right? So it's taking things that maybe other people are talking about, but kind of putting your spin on it and making it a little bit sticky. Your X factor, right? So we talked about like, what do you want to be known for? Like if you're going to say like, I want to be known for whatever, and we're going to talk about this in the retreat. This is like one of the exercises we're going to do. But if we're going to talk about like, what do you want to be known for? Like, I want to know what you want to be known for. Like, do you want to be known for what? Like, what is like the one thing that you want to be known for, especially right now? And then of course, consistency and your mindset. So let's do another scale, 1 to 10. Where are you kind of right now? Like with this stuff, when you look at all of this stuff, like where are you when we talk 1, like, I still have a lot of work to do. 10, like I've got it all figured out. I can tell you right now what I want to be known for. Did anyone see what's going on with Melanie? She's still commenting. I just see the notifications. Oh, the call is full. Oh, that's awesome. That sucks. Okay. That's my fault. Who knew we were going to do a Google Hangout or a group chat or whatever this is? Okay, sorry, I'll get that all fixed. Okay, cool. Okay, that gives me great feedback. All right, so let's talk product development. Are we ready? Who in here has an idea of a product that you want to create, a product or service? Just give me a yes or a no. Yes, you kind of know, you have a feel for kind of what you want to do. No, no clue. I don't even have I don't know. And that's totally fine. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. Yes-ish. I like yes-ish. Maybe. Kevin, hi, Kevin. No idea. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so hopefully this is going to help kind of nail down some things, and then you'll come out with more of an idea. And of course, that's stuff we can hash out on the phone and of course in person this weekend, right? All right, so product development. So there are 3 tutorials on the portal about like what, the where, and the why and how of product development. So you definitely want to watch those. We're going to talk about those a little bit more in detail here, but those are definitely good for you to refer to when we're talking about product development. So the thing with the product development is if you have one-on-one clients right now, or you feel like I need some money like right now, and you have consulting clients or one-on-one coaching, you can totally be making a product at the same time, right? So one-on-ones are great, but they are somewhat time intensive. And so if you are if you want to create a product, because again, in your online business, at the end of this year, you all need to have at least one signature product. So when I started, mine was like my coaching club, right? And so now I have 3, right? I have my coaching club, Business Beyond Baby, and now Running Beyond Baby. Those are like my 3 signatures. That's all you really need, because if you launch those like twice in a year, then you're done. Your whole calendar is full. So end of year 1, I want at least 1 signature product up, and we have launched it once. And then end of year 2, we're going to go for refining that launch process of your signature product, and then working on making a second one. But those are super important to have. So when I say it must be warranted, like it must be warranted, it must be needed, right? How do we know that? We're going to talk about that today. Because there's nothing worse than creating a product because we think it's a great idea, because how many times we'll be like, oh my God, this is like an amazing idea. And then we go to launch it and crickets, right? There's nothing worse, because creating a product is a lot of work. So just to review, what is a product? It's your expertise, your passion, and your solution to a real problem. So we need to have all of those things for your product. So We're going to talk about how to kind of figure that all out and all that stuff, but it's going to take some time on your part as far as research, investigation, validating your idea so that you kind of know before you put all of the time and effort into creating a product that yes, it's needed, yes, people want this, and yes, it's solving a problem, right? So what can I help people with and who needs this? So what can you help people with? Well, you have already, you could create a product right now. You wouldn't need much else, knowing what you know, using the skills you have, the challenges that you've overcome, right? So those are big, right? Because remember, your client is not where you are. You're always 5, 6, 10 steps ahead of your client. So you have to help your client get from like point A to point Z, like 3 years ago for you, right? So you don't need to help your client completely revamp their life, but you do need to help them make that one big change or whatever that you've made. So think about the challenges you've come and of course the solution to their number one struggle. And I think this is really hard too, because sometimes we're like, I don't really know the struggle. Like, I'm not really sure. And that's where we've got to get on the phone. We have to look at kind of what's resonating with people and what's sticking with people, because we have to know what their number one struggle is. If we don't know their number one struggle, then we're kind of just taking a shot in the dark, right? And that's not what we want to do when we're talking about our business. So where are they hanging out, right? And we talked about this, and we talked about like our avatar, and like if you haven't done that paragraph, I highly suggest you do it. It's absolutely important to really know what your people are doing, where they're hanging out, what they look like, what their struggles are like, where do they shop, what do they read, what are they, when they get on their phone, where are they going? Are they going to Pinterest? Are they going to Etsy? Like, what are they doing? What is, when they sit down to have a conversation with their husband, what are they talking about? When they go to get dressed, what goes through their mind? Are they crying? Are they looking at the pair of skinny jeans that they're never going to be able to wear again, but they just cry every time they see them? You know, are they holding on to like a high school memory of the way they looked? Like, we have to know these things about them, because that's where that's where the marketing and the psychology and all that stuff plays in when we talk about marketing a product. So, but we have to know, because we have to build a product around this, right? So if we talk about, like, I know, you know, we need to know where they are. So talking about who is your potential audience, again, who is already showing up from the content you're giving out. Social media platforms, where are your people? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Pinterest? Most likely, most of them are on one platform at this point. Who do they like? Are they like people that like the Kardashians? Are they people that like Kelly, whatever, Ripa? Like, who do they like? Who do they like connect with and follow with? Even online, are they people like, are my people the people who like Natalie Jill Fit, or are they more like the Jamie Eason fan? Or are they more like Bumney, whatever her name is, like the toddler one who's funny as shit? Do they really like her the most? Like, who are my people connecting with, right? If they go on Amazon and if you look at like their recent purchases, like what's coming up is like recommended reviews for them. Chances are it's a lot like you, right? We already talked about that. It's a previous version of yourself. Conversations, as far as like what kind of conversations are they having? Like, if they go on a walk with a mom, what are they going to talk about, right? So like, I have friends who within 5 minutes, they're talking about how fat they are and how they need to be on a diet, and oh my God, summer's coming, blah, 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 right? Those obviously are not my favorite people to hang out with, but I have friends like that, right? So that's important. And of course, looking at those emails that you're getting back with their number one struggles, that's just gold, right? That's gold. The Facebook groups you're asking about, like the number one struggle, blah, 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 that's gold copy. And then of course, websites, like where are they going, right? So if you type in like fat loss for moms, what comes up, right? Look at that stuff. Look and go look at that stuff so that you can see like where they're going, right? If you Google, like if I Googled postpartum fitness, like it's really interesting to see kind of what comes up, right? So super important to do all of this stuff. If you haven't taken the time to do it, I'd highly recommend. And then of course, coming up with that paragraph to have with your avatar, right? Okay, so why do they need it? So we have, what are we gonna help them with? Where are they hanging out? Why do they need it, right? So why do they need it? Why do your people need it? So looking for cornerstone struggles or themes that keep coming up, right? So maybe it's body image, maybe it's overwhelm, maybe it's stress, maybe it's no time, motivation, whatever. You'll start to see themes that come up, right? The main problem, the main pain point, right? So this is something that I think sometimes we have an idea, and then all of a sudden we think of it as one thing, and then all of a sudden it ends up being something different. So you'll never go wrong if you stick with that just one pain point. And of course, using their language. So using their copy, their words when you're talking. So like we talked about getting on the phone with people and asking them about like their struggles or whatever. And now we're going to do that again. But this time we're going to talk more about like our idea for our product, right? So once you have an idea for your product, we're actually going to get on the phone with people and talk to them about what do they think about this, right? So what would it be like if, of course, you're asking them like how everything's going, they tell you their struggle, you ask them how urgent it is to fix that struggle, just like we did before with the market research phone calls. But this time you're saying, you know what, if I created a product, if I created a program that was 12 weeks, and at the end of that 12 weeks, you could do blank, what would you think about that? Like, would you buy that? Like, is that something you'd be interested in? That's where we're getting more of that market research to validate our idea, because some people would be like, no, actually I wouldn't. Or how much would it be? Or no, that 12 weeks doesn't sound like something I would do, right? So it's really, really important to talk to them, right? And listen to them. So I'm gonna ask that you guys do that again. So how can you help them, right? So we have the what do they need help with, and now it's like how can we help them? So sticky solutions, meaning some sort of framework or tool or strategy or way to organize your solution. So instead of just writing an ebook and like vomiting out information, which is fine, but that's not organized in a way. So maybe it's an acronym, right? So you guys all know Jade from Metabolic Effect. He's like the king of creating like acronyms for people to understand, right? So he created HEC. There's really no magic behind it except for everyone says, is your HEC in check? So it's a really easy way for us as trainers and for people, his clients, to say, is my HEC in check? Is my hunger, energy, and cravings in check? No, then I know what I need to do. Yes, then I'm good, right? So it's nothing magical, but it's a way to, it's a framework, right? He's really good with taking information that kind of people know and making it into his own, right? Making it a framework, a tool, a system. So making those systems are super, super important, even with workouts, right? So my Running Beyond Baby workouts are written in a system. It's just a framework. They're written in mesocycles, which means it changes every 3 weeks. I have an introduce, an improve, and a perfect phase. That isn't necessary. I could just hand people a workout, but by doing that, it's like giving them the why, but also putting my name into like more of a sticky solution, frameworky type of way, which is a lot easier to sell when we talk about solutions. Does that make sense? Give me a yes if that all makes sense to you. Yes? Cool. Okay. Awesome. I'm sure your brains are probably working overtime at this point. So now, so you see, like, I didn't go right into like, is it going to be group coaching or is it going to be one-on-one coaching? Like, we started with the struggle, with the language, with the validation. We started with all of that. And then we said, what type of product will it be? Because honestly, like, you might say, oh, well, I want to do group coaching. Well, maybe group coaching isn't the best for the solution to your providing, right? So maybe group coaching isn't the best thing that you need, right? So that's why the what comes after all of the other stuff, because that other information kind of frames the what, right? Of course, you want to like it and you want to make it work for you, but ultimately, all of that other information kind of brings to light what it should be. Does that make sense? So when we talk about what it should be, we have the delivery. So a lot of you guys have asked me about like, well, what types of products are there? Well, here's your big list. We've got DIY, which means like literally do it yourself. They buy the product. You don't really have much access with them. Coaching, and that can be one-on-one, group coaching, small group coaching. It can be a million ways of coaching. Videos, like video series where they like buy a series of that, membership sites, calls, webinars, PDFs. There's a million ways to deliver. It's really about what's the best way for those people, right? So if those people are struggling and they need access to you, like I think I told Wendy this, like if I'm having struggles with my kids, like I don't have time to read stuff. I want to just talk to someone and be like, help me out. Like, this is what's going on. Help me. What's going on, right? So where like on the exercise side, you can get away with more of the DIY stuff because people really just want an exercise program. They want to download it. They want to do it. They don't really need much else after that, right? So it really depends on kind of what we're doing, where we talk about the delivery. The deliverables, a lot of you guys have already have your like one-on-one site pages up. Again, it's access, nuts and bolts as far as the features, the benefits, who's it for, who's it not for, all of that stuff. And this will be all, it's all in the portal. So don't freak out if I'm talking really fast because I know I am. But that's where you'll put like the deliverable and of course the outcome. So at the end of this 12 weeks, you can expect what, right? Results guaranteed. You're going to feel confident in your skin. You will carve out whatever time for yourself. You will be a stronger runner. You will be a faster runner, whatever it is. That's what it's outcome based, right? Because that's the point. And then we talk about price. We talk about how much access to you, how much customization is involved as far as like, are you doing meal plans? Are you doing customized workouts? Or is everyone getting kind of the same thing? And then your platform, like, or you're just starting, right? If you're just starting, your price is going to be lower than like if you've been doing it for 3 or 4 years, obviously. And then we talk about hourly rates. So let's just say you're all at $100 an hour. The price is usually a fifth to a tenth of that. When we talk about online price, which you're kind of like, that sucks. But if you think about it, like, it's just, that's the way it works, right? You sell a lot of them and then it works out because you're not really putting in the hours, but then ultimately once it's done, it's done. So that's kind of how we figure that out. And we literally don't talk about price too much until after we figure out all of the other stuff. Then we talk about like, what is it going to be? What is it going to look like? How is it going to be delivered? All of that stuff. Because that's really after the fact, right? Because if we have to know the solution and the problem and all of that stuff first. So how do you know if you have a thing? And when with thing, I mean like a product, something that people are going to buy, right? So of course, take inventory of your skills. Like, what are you really good at? What is your thing? Are you really good at communicating? Like, we know like Jillian is like really good on video, right? So obviously something of hers is going to have videos in it, right? Connie is like really detail oriented. Like, she can write all day long and like really get those details in where like, I just want to like write it out and be done. I don't want to like think about the details. So like, what is she going to be really good at? Probably something that involves a PDF, a downloadable, that type of a thing, right? So just think about that. Think of like what you're really good at. Understanding your ideal client's problems and pain points, of course. So if that's not there, then we need to do that first. And then creating a solution for their problem, right? So, and asking them, are they willing to pay for this? So if you're not sure about your ideal client's problems, pain points, and the solution part, what do we need to do? We need to, again, do that market research. So, but this time it's really more targeting towards your product and your service, right? So getting on the phone with people, talking to people, whatever it is, even you can even ask in our group about what it is you're thinking of or what the main thing is, and then you'll get some info and some feedback from there. But the best thing about the research and the validation is that you never really second guess moving forward because you already know, like people have already told you, like, yeah, I would pay for that, or yeah, I would love that, or wow, I can't wait for that to come out, whatever it is, right? That can be email too. It doesn't have to be like on the phone, right? But connecting is absolutely key. So offering free discovery calls, getting in the Facebook groups, asking them their struggles, listen, write down their words, asking them how urgent this is, and then of course asking them would they pay for a solution. So if you say, how's everything going? Oh, it's good, but oh my gosh, I just can't stop eating. Like I'm eating all over the place. I gained 10 pounds. I feel like shit. It just comes out, guys. You guys know that. It just all comes out. So you're listening, you're writing it down, like bloated, off the wagon, out of control. Like you're writing down these keywords and then you're like, wow, like that's, it seems like a lot, whatever. Like how urgent is it for you to lose those 10 pounds and to feel better? Like how urgent is that for you? Oh my gosh, it's a 10, I would do anything. Like I just can't go on feeling like this. Like my husband's getting the wrath for it. My kids are getting yelled at. Everyone, I just feel like crap. I can't, nothing's working in my life because of these 10 pounds. And people like this, right? And that I just can't get past it and blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, well, gosh, that sounds really urgent. So I'm actually creating a one-on-one coaching service where I'm going to be taking a select group of women for 12 weeks, and we are going to be working on, you know, customization of your nutrition and kind of dialing in on those big things that you need to focus on. So, you know, would you be willing to do that? Like, would you pay for that? Is that something you would do? Would you be interested in that? Any of those questions, right? Oh my gosh, yes, right? And then you can almost seal the deal right there, which is why we kind of need to get the other stuff there, because you could easily seal the deal. But if not, if we don't have that yet, then you know, like, how much would you be willing to pay for that? Let me see, it's 12 weeks and you're giving me this and this and this and this. Oh, $25. Okay, well, what do you know about that person, right? Either they have no idea, like, the value, or they're probably not your ideal client, right? So just an example, I did this for Business Beyond Baby, and I was talking to women who were interested in starting an online business, whatever, and I was asking them about, like, the product, and they were telling me, like, how important it was for them to build their business. So of course I asked, like, how urgent is this? Like, is this really important that you do this? Yes. Would you pay for this? Yes. Oh, that's so cool. I'm getting ready to open up Business Beyond Baby, and would you mind if I tell you about it? No. Great. Tell me about it. Okay. It's a 10-month program, and this is what you get, and then you get this and this and this. How does that sound to you? Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, that's the best thing ever, right? They just keep going on and on, and I'm like, well, how much would you pay for that? What? Well, I'm just asking, like, how much would you pay for that? Like, how much would you pay to be in a mentorship for 10 months with someone? Every call I had said a number between $2,000 and $4,000, except for there were, like, I guess three people. One said $200. What does that tell me about that person, right? Bye. Like, go get a DIY product. I was like, okay, see ya. I didn't say that, but I was like, oh, okay. That wasn't like the person, that wasn't going to be my ideal client. That doesn't mean that she's not going to find something that's great for her. She is, but that's not my target client, right? So you start to see the outliers, but every person was giving me, like, the same numbers as far as what they would pay for it. So when I came out with 2,000, 2,500, whatever I came out with, I wasn't, like, thinking about it twice. I was like, oh, all these people were they already told me they would pay for this, right? So it really helps with, like, the money mindset and the marketing side once we get there. But does this sound doable to everyone? Is anyone confused at all? Tell me yes or no. Dreadful. Okay. That's okay. It can be dreadful. And we can go through this. We can even, like, practice on the phone. I practiced with Melanie before she, like, did this with her lady who wanted one-on-one. So we can totally practice if you want. It's really easy, and it's not as, like, I'm saying it like it's, like, super, like, this is what you do first and next. It's literally just having a conversation. Like, you go to a mom's group and, like, talk to someone about this. Like, I talk to people in the gym about it, and, like, it's not like a serious thing, but I am getting a lot of feedback, right? Okay, so researching and validating your idea is absolutely key. The book Will It Fly by Pat Flynn is a great book. We did some of this stuff in the What to Expect, like, before Business Beyond Baby got up, and we're going to be reading this coming up. So that's a really good book to do, but it's really about knowing who you're talking to, creating your dream client, right? So just because some people are coming to you, that doesn't mean that you have to work with them, right? Like I was telling Melanie, like, the challenge for her is just as much about her weeding out people that she doesn't want to work with as it is about them wanting to work with her, right? Because there's nothing worse than working with people who, like, drain you, right? So, and the other thing, besides talking to the ideal client, besides figuring out, like, what's going on in their head, what do they want to pay for, blah, 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 is researching the thing you want to do, right? So, for example, when I had this idea of running Beyond Baby, and again, this has been a whoa, I thought that was my kid. I was like, oh my God. One of the things I did was I Googled running for moms, right? I was Googling. I know the reason I know someone's copying me is because I did so much research figuring out who is already doing this. Because you actually want people to be doing what you're doing, right? So you want a mom running program out there, right? Like, there's a few big groups called, like, Moms Run This Town, and, like, Couch to 5K is a big one that markets to moms. And then there's the people online who are stealing my shit. But that's neither here or there. But the point is that I wanted to see that there are stuff out there for moms. So what did I do? I started looking at it. I was like, oh, what is that? What are they giving moms? What are they telling moms? What's missing? What do I have that's different? How am I going to stand out, right? So you know the direction I'm going with it, which is very different than what I saw. So did I copy it? No, but I did do my research. I did my homework, so I know exactly what's out there like this. If you can't find anything out there like what you want to create, it's time to go back and let's rethink this, because there needs to be something, because that tells us that people are buying it, right? Just because there's other stuff out there doesn't mean it's already been taken. It means that people are spending money on it, which is what we need, right? We actually want that. So, so that's a really good thing to do. So you can always play with that, Google. So when we talk about the what, and I said the word deliverables, this is kind of what I'm talking about. So you can take a screenshot of this, and this will be in the portal as well, as far as like sales page and like what to put on it. But this is really what I want to know when I talk about the deliverables as far as your program. The important stuff as far as like what they're paying for, if that makes sense. Basically, quote unquote, the sales page. So you definitely want, that's important. And then the part 2 is the content, right? So this is where you put your stuff into the acronyms and the systems and the frameworks and the training plans and all of that stuff. That's where you put your stuff. So for like Melanie has her way of training, very different than maybe what I'm doing as a training, which is amazing. That's where her expertise comes in, her insights, her tools, her strategies. That's where her stuff comes into her own little training program, right? And that's what makes her content different. And that's where, like, even the lady who's stealing my shit, her content isn't going to be my content, right? Because she doesn't have the same stuff as I do. But it's still, you know, you can tell that's what's on my mind right now, right? And then, of course, the outcomes. So as a result, what's going to happen? What's going to happen after 12 weeks? How is that the thing that they're struggling with now? If they're stuffing their face every night and they are out of control emotional eating, after your 12-week program, what's going to happen? How do you guarantee that? How do you know it? Well, we know it because we've probably already done it, right? So we've done like a beta test, or you've done it on yourself, or you've seen, whatever it is, we know that. So how can we tie that? So remember, at the end of the 12 weeks, you're no longer going to be stuffing your face. You're obviously not going to say that, but do you know what I'm saying? So like, it's kind of like how running Beyond Baby, I just keep using my own examples because I know you guys get that and it's kind of like fresh. But so I'm saying, like, you're going to be a faster runner, you're going to be a stronger runner, and you're going to run for body change. So I'm saying at the end of the 12 weeks, your body is going to look different. How can I guarantee that? Because if you follow the program, like I've done it, right? I've done it. I have other women done it. Like, I just know that, right? How do I know that you're going to be faster? Because you're going to sign up for a race and you're going to test your time, right? So it's kind of like, that's how we're going to measure, quote unquote, measure the outcome, if that makes sense. But this is a huge piece to it. So just a quick review. We have the who, what, who, where, why, how, and the what. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Well, shit. Ugh. Sorry. Let me go back. I know you want to see that page. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So this, who is your potential client? Where are they hanging out? Online or in your local area if you're doing like in-person stuff, of course. Why do they need your help? Remember, this is time to like not doubt yourself. Like, you have to be like, I'm the shit. Like, of course they need my help. I freaking lost 100 pounds. Of course they need my help. I used to run doubles and eat Subway sandwiches, and now I'm leaner than ever. Like, you have to be like, I'm the shit. Like, this is time for you to like brag on yourself. How can I help with my sticky solutions, my superpowers, my frameworks? So Derek Halpern is someone in online marketing. I don't know if you know him, social triggers. And he always talks about like your superpower solution. Basically, like, it's kind of like the what are you known for? Like, what is your thing? Like, my superpower solution is, you know, maybe teaching moms that, you know, they can live in moderation and like never go on a diet again, or whatever it is, right? So it's kind of how you do it, but also what you do. And then, of course, then we talk about what that product will look like. And I think a lot of times we want to go into the what the product will look like, and we like forget all of this other stuff, right? Even one of my girls in my alumni group was like, I need to do a webinar and I just don't know what the product is going to look like. And I was like, and we need to back up like 5 steps and we need to talk about the struggle. Like that's what we have to talk about first. And then we'll talk about what that product is going to look like. And then we'll talk about the webinar that's going to lead to it. But we're not going to talk about any of that stuff until we know the struggle and we know what we're doing. What are we solving? Because maybe in our mind, we think, oh, a 12-week program would be great. But when we think about it, we're like, that doesn't even make sense for the struggle, right? So, it's kind of like a monthly thing would be really fun for running Beyond Baby. However, that makes no sense for the way the product is written, right? It makes no sense for someone getting faster. No one's going to get faster and stronger in 4 weeks, but in 12 weeks, that makes sense, right? So it has to make sense with kind of like the why, the hows, all that stuff. Okay, and so then just super quick, what's ahead as far as I just want all of you brainstorming, creating, thinking about whether you want to do one-on-one on the side as you're creating your product, completing units 1 through 4, and then of course, those who are at the retreat, we're gonna do more of product development. We're gonna go launch, marketing, and some copy stuff. So, and then of course the 90-day plan. So that'll be like the accelerated, but if not, I want you all thinking about the product, brainstorming. You have lots of cool stuff in the portal this month for product development, some Hootsuite stuff. I know some of you guys were asking about that, some LastPass stuff. So good videos there for you too. All right. All right. So what do we got? Questions? Questions? Anybody? Thanks for bearing with me for the technology. I still have no idea what's happening with this, but I'll have to get it fixed. Or I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened. Anybody have any questions? How are we feeling? Are we overwhelmed, stressed, anything? No questions? Okay, hey, I can handle that. Overwhelmed, stressed, excited. I like it. You know what, guys? You actually should be like all of that thing. Like that, those feelings are like normal. And I don't ever want you to think that like if you say you're overwhelmed, like that's weird. Like you're supposed to be overwhelmed. You're in your 5th month of like creating a business. This shit is no joke. And I'm sure you've realized like this is not easy. But you're supposed to like be like, you're supposed to really be like kind of a ball of emotions. Like one day you're gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm amazing, I've got this. And then the next day you're gonna be like, no one likes me, my content sucks, I'm never gonna make it. That's normal. So like if you're feeling that stuff, like you're normal, by the way. I still feel it. I'm like, no one's gonna buy Running Beyond Baby, it sucks. Oh my God, I think I just need to recreate the whole thing. Okay, really? Yesterday I thought it was amazing. Today I'm like, nope, don't like it. That's normal. Like that is part of getting better. That's part of being an entrepreneur. Like if any entrepreneur tells you like every day is a good day, they're lying. Like they're full of shit, just so you know. Exactly. Bits, everything you do compounds, and you'll start to see that in the launch. So like I know a lot of people who like launch a product and they like have never emailed their list, or they really didn't even think about building their list, or they're not building it with like quality people, and then they launch it and like nothing happens. And I'm like, that is proof of the compound effect. So every day you show up, you write your content, you do your emails, you do your blogs, you do your videos, blah, blah, blah. Every day you do that, I promise you it builds. It's like Jill used to tell me all the time, like, Shira, you're one of those people that just does the trust piggy bank. You just put your pennies in every single day, and then at the end, it just builds up for you. And I'm like, that's it. Like there's no secret. It's not magic. It's really just doing what I knew I needed to do and kind of showing up, right? Yeah, and the summer is going to be a little bit crazy for some of us, I think. So I think it's just really important to kind of honor that, know where we are, and be okay with it, because I think a lot of us have kids home full time in the summer, which is a little bit odd, right? For some of us who have a little bit more time now, and maybe we're traveling and all that stuff. So just keep that stuff in mind and just honor where you are and know where we're going. And we're going to be on product development and marketing and all of this stuff for a couple of months. So you're never behind. You are never behind, I promise. You have until October to at least get the idea of a product, even if we don't launch it yet. At least I want the idea, I want it created, and that type of thing. So, so start brainstorming, start talking to people, start getting those struggles down, and then let's hash stuff out, right? Good. So I have no idea if this recorded, but I will, I guess, look and see. And thanks, guys, for being on. Take your time out of your day to come hang with us. You guys are killing it. Awesome stuff. And yeah, you got it. I will talk to you guys in the group in just a little bit, and then I'll see some of you this weekend. Yay! All right. Bye, guys.